First Class Productions.
Playing Tekken 3 in the late 90s was a life changer. The colorful cast of characters along with snappy and responsive gameplay made it an instant classic.
So imagine my excitement when I saw a Tekken game for the brand new PlayStation 2 in a video game store at the turn of the millennium.
It would be another few years before my dad finally got a PS2 in the spring of 2003. When my brother and I visited him for Easter, he had bought quite a few games, some of which were disappointing sequels to much beloved PS1 games. One stood out from the crowd, and that was Tekken Tag Tournament.
We spent almost the entire 2 weeks we were there playing this game. It was one of the best holidays I ever had. I've regarded this as my favorite fighting game of all time ever since.
The arcade version of Tekken Tag featuring the old 32-bit graphics was released in 1999. In 2000, the PS2 port followed up with better visuals. Another updated version called Tekken Tag Tournament HD came out in 2011 as part of Tekken Hybrid for the PlayStation 3.
Today I'm going to check out both home console versions, because as a matter of fact, it's been ages since I've played them. Is it still my #1 brawler, or is it beginning to show its wrinkles? So please tag along and just play the intro.
GFrom, the gamer, the legend, he's come to show you the way in this world of games. GFrom reviews.
The main selling point of Tekken Tag is that you play in teams of 2 fighters. At any point during a battle you can switch to the other character. It's advised to do so because the resting fighter slowly recovers some of his energy. If one of them loses all of his energy, the entire team loses a round. The game opens with another kick-ass montage accompanied by a fantastic score. We even see characters from Tekken 2 that are presumed dead.
I mean, Kazuya's on the cover, for crying out loud.
What's happening here? Well, you see, Tekken Tag Tournament is not part of the main series. Instead, consider it a non-canon spin-off that includes most characters from both the second and third games. In fact, of the 45 playable characters from the trilogy, only 6 are missing. But that's okay. The original King and Kuma as well as Martial Law probably wouldn't have added much. And about the original Jack model, there are already 3 goddamn Jack characters included here. I think that's enough. How much Jack action, Jacktion do we need crammed in one game? So in this way, the only ones that aren't represented by a newer version are Dr. Boskanovich and Gon. No great loss there.
To make up for the missing characters, 2 new ones have joined the roster. So let's welcome the newcomers. Tetsujin is the metallic version of Mokujin and acts as a glorified pellet swap.
He also mimics the style of other fighters and has no moveset of his own. If you want to play as Tetsujin or Mokujin in the arcade mode, you have to move to the empty spot next to Wang. Playing as him 10 times turns him into gold. Each time you swap him within a match, he changes the style he mimics.
Unknown is the final boss, and a very mysterious one at that.
She seems to be possessed by some kind of werewolf spirit. Much like Mokujin, she mimics other characters. The only exceptions are the Jack robots. No Jacktion here. She also changes her style when swapped in, but you can do it by pressing R3 as well. The difference is that she always starts as June. She resembles her a bit too, so I always thought they were the same person. In this game, we don't get an answer to who she really is. It's another one of life's greatest mysteries. At least it used to be. Of the 39 characters, 21 are available from the start and the rest are unlocked by beating the arcade mode. Much like in Tekken 3, they are always unlocked in the same order. In the HD version, all fighters are available from the beginning. I have mixed feelings about that. On one hand, it's great to have all of them if you just want to play for fun. On the other hand, that makes the arcade mode pretty much pointless for me. I enjoy unlocking characters and cinematics one by one, as it feels very rewarding and makes me play as fighters I wouldn't pick otherwise. Most of the modes we know and love are back. Those are the arcade mode, versus, team battle, time attack, survival, practice, and theater. In some modes, 2 players can not only play against each other, but team up as well, each taking control of one fighter. I haven't done that very often, but it's a cool idea. A gallery has been added in case you want to save some screenshots onto your memory card, which apparently I've done in the past. This is like a time capsule. You think smartphones were the first device that let us capture captured useless memories? Wrong, we grandpas had memory cards. Another new mode is one-on-one and one-on-one versus. In case you're already tired of tag team matches in a game called Tekken Tag Tournament. These 3 are missing in the HD version, which I'm not too sad about. I never really played one-on-one anyway, and no one needs a gallery. Seriously. There's one more unlockable mode which we'll get to in a bit. Gameplay is very similar to Tekken 3. The switch from the PS1 to the next generation feels natural. Most of the moves we know and love are included here, but new combos have been mixed in as well. I've played this game so much that whether I play titles that came before or after, these are the movesets I have in mind. They are part of me and will never let go. I was actually surprised how many of the moves here are missing in Tekken 3. I didn't remember that. We've already briefly talked about the tag mechanic, which is the heart of this game. Not only is it good to give wounded fighters the chance to recover, but you can also perform tag throws. Those are always satisfying.
What I never knew about is the existence of the so-called Netsu system. What the hell is a Netsu system, I hear you ask? Let me try to explain.
Active fighter gets hurt. Inactive fighter's life bar starts to flash. Tag out active fighter while inactive fighter's life bar is flashing. The now active fighter becomes a bit stronger. Was that clear? Good. Depending on the characters you play as, it requires different amounts of hits before the inactive fighter becomes angry. I recommend you check out the Netsu section on Tekken Fandom if you're interested. I'll leave a link in the description. Some characters have special win or lose poses together, which can be quite amusing. Picking Kazuya and Devil might be the most interesting combo. Hey, wait a minute, where's Devil? This isn't fair, it's 2 against 1. Aw yeah. Does that also work with Ogre and True Ogre? There are some characters that I don't really care for, like Roger, Alex, Ganryu, Anna, and June. I enjoy most of the others though. My number 1 fighter in the entire franchise is Tekken Tag Xiaoyu. I've never ever felt so comfortable with another fighting game character. Plus, I used to have a little crush on her. I was 12 and apparently very confused. Other favorites include Lei and Horong. There are 14 stages in this game, 6 of which have 2 versions. That makes it 20 stages in total, which is more than in Tekken 3 and less than in Tekken 2. In versus mode you can pick a stage this time, which is a great addition. All of the stages are inspired by the ones from Tekken 3. In fact, they are pretty much twin versions, just updated with way better graphics. Lei and Ogre stages are my personal favorites. Lighting has been improved and the backgrounds aren't static anymore. We can see statues breathing fire in Ogre stage and dudes cheering us on in various stages. What's up with that dude? Are you lost? Yoshimitsu's stage even has snow. Looks pretty sweet. So do the character models, which have facial expressions this time around. This is the future!
What's next? Faces that don't look like a bunch of polygons? Downloadable content? Costumes you have to pay for online? Oh well, enough of this science fiction I'm making up.
Most of the characters have 4 costumes, 2 from previous entries and 2 new ones. Some of them are quite bizarre, while others look even more badass than before. So overall, it feels a lot like Tekken 3 from a visual standpoint, but it's prettier, smoother, and cleaner. That's also true for the character select screen. I love the design and that you see the selected fighters at the bottom. The arcade mode only has 8 stages as opposed to 10 in the previous games. The final battle is against Unknown. Yes, a very specific name. You only have to beat her once, but she constantly regains some of her energy, which makes her a bit tougher. The difficulty is toned down compared to some of the earlier games. On hard mode I usually win. Very hard gives me more trouble, which is fine by me. I've never claimed to be the best Tekken player, and that's also true here. I feel more comfortable with this game than any other in the series. Yes, even more than Tekken 3. Beating the arcade mode rewards you with an ending cinematic for the first character on your team. I have very mixed feelings about them. Some of them are pretty funny or at least give me a slight chuckle. Others show off some cool moves. But with some, I don't know what to say. They are pointless. Like seriously, they kill my brain cells. It's cool that you can pick the costume for most characters in these cinematics, and as a kid I actually watched every cutscene with every costume. I had way too much time on my hands. And if you're someone who did that as well, I think you will agree with me on one thing. The music for these endings overstays its welcome before you know it. Why on earth do we have to hear the same damn song over and over and over again? I swear I'm so sick of this track, and I genuinely don't understand why of all the lovely songs they could have picked, that's the one they went with. If you ever want to see me suffer, change every song on my playlist with this one. The only real ending with better graphics is Unknown's. Back then I thought it looked amazing. The wolf absorbs her and thus begins to grow legs. She manages to free herself, killing the wolf in the process. But like I said, all of this isn't even canon, so it's just eye candy. The sound is great as usual. Many sounds are recycled from Tekken 3, at least I think so. That's not an issue for me. But let's cut the crap and talk about the soundtrack. Oh my god, this soundtrack. They went away from the electro-rock combo of the previous game and instead focused on electronic and techno. And what can I say? This is my jam and such a great fit for a fighting game. With the exception of the ending music, I love every single track on here, and there are quite a few of them. Every stage has its own theme, giving it an own identity. Often we hear robotic voices in the background, giving me Kraftwerk vibes like in Yoshimitsu's stage. Damn, there's not much left then. There's such a great energy to these tracks. Paul's stage is a great example for this. So is Nina's stage.
There is no way I can do this soundtrack justice, so let's have the music do most of the talking. Here are my top 5 songs from Tekken Tag Tournament.
Number 5. This one isn't in your face like many other tracks, but I love the melody in the second half. Number 4. Like we've come to expect, the opening once again has a tremendous tune. The piano is a blessing to my ears. Number 3. Let's have some fun. This track makes me want to dance and sing along to the lyrics I can barely understand. Or kick someone in the face. Number 2. While I love what we've heard so far, this track is on another level. It has a dreamy quality to it and gives me chills every time I hear it. If you don't know this one, you're seriously missing out. Number 1. This is my favorite piece of music in all of Tekken. It kicks so much ass and the nostalgia is strong with this one. Picking a character has never been so much fun. I could listen to this for hours.
After unlocking True Ogre on the PS2, we get a new mode. It's a mode we didn't know we needed in a fighting game, but I can't think of a world where it doesn't exist. Ladies, gentlemen, pandas and cyborgs, this is Tekken Bowl. I know what you're thinking. Why on earth is there a bowling game in Tekken? Because it's the greatest thing human minds have ever dreamed up. That's why.
I don't think I have to explain bowling. Like in the main game, you pick 2 characters. I recommend picking a strong but not too strong character first and then a more delicate person. Of course you want to get a strike with the first character. If that doesn't work, it's best to have backup that is good at precision as opposed to strength, so you can at least try to get a spare. At first you can move horizontally, then you have to aim. The stronger you are, the faster the arrow will spin, making it harder to get it right. You can also move the camera. Finally, while bowling, you can move left or right. Some characters are left-handed, which can be disorienting at first, and that's coming from someone who is left-handed. I rarely play as the super strong dudes. Pure force isn't a guarantee for success, and the jacks have a green screen, which makes it hard to see. In the HD version, the screen is purple for some reason. Why? Yoshimitsu is similar. That's so random. So I usually pick someone like Law, Paul or Kazuya first, and then either Michelle, Julia or Nina. For something as basic as bowling, this mode is so much fun. The character variety gives it replay value. There are fun little things added, like when you overcharge or accidentally hit Dr. B in the crowd. Sorry, not sorry. The best part is the sound. Of course we get the same music from the main game, which gets 2 thumbs up from me. Whenever I hear the sound of a strike or the announcer, it throws me back to a time in my life where I played this mode all the time. Man, it feels so rewarding to get multiple strikes in a row. Especially the miss sound has become somewhat of an in-joke in our family when someone fails at something. I'll let you in on a secret. My dad, my brother and I probably played the Tekken Bowl more than any other multiplayer game. Not only during the previously mentioned Easter holiday, but for many years after. This was our go-to game for at least 10 years, and I can't even count the many evenings we spent trying to beat the high score. To this day, I have never been able to beat my dad's best run. Someday.
Let's wrap this up.
Tekken Tag Tournament isn't the most revolutionary game in the franchise, but it doesn't have to be. At the time, the visual upgrade was mind-blowing and the gameplay was as smooth and responsive as ever. I love the tag mechanics so much that I wish the main games included them. Cause man, is it cool to team up with the likes of King and Armor King, or Horang and pure fan service. Finally, we can put an end to the question of who would win in a fight, Devil or True Ogre. At this point in the series, this truly felt like a celebration of the franchise with an insane amount of characters to choose from. For me, it has the best soundtrack of all Tekken games, and I regard it as one of the best video game soundtracks I have ever heard, easily in my top 10. It's one of the scores I revisit the most, and it gives me the will to push through, even on rainy days. Where does this game fall in my personal ranking? You might have guessed it by now. Not only is it my number 1 of the games I've reviewed so far, but it's also my favorite game in this series. No questions asked. My top Tekken. I'll even go one step further. If I could only play one more fighting game for the rest of my life, it would be this one. Sure, nostalgia plays a big part as it was an important game for me growing up. It introduced me to the new and exciting PS2 era, and playing Tekken Bowl became somewhat of a ritual in our family. I'm very fond of these memories. It was a simpler time. Surprisingly, my absolute highlight is Tekken Bowl. Sounds kinda weird to say that my favorite aspect of the Tekken series is a bowling minigame, but I stand by that statement. If you're used to the newer games, this one will feel slow-paced to you. In that regard, it hasn't aged as well as other games like Tekken 5. If you have an open mind about it or played it in the past, I'm sure you will enjoy it. Tekken Hybrid is a great way to play this game, and it even includes an animated Tekken movie and a preview of Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Sure, some minor things are missing in the HD version, but that shouldn't be a big issue. It looks nice in HD and keeps it fresh. The PS2 version is not too shabby either, and personally, I think it holds up very well.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll finally try to beat my dad's Tekken Bowl high score.
Hey everyone, this is GFrom. Thank you so much for watching episode 4 of season 2. Feel free to rate, comment, subscribe and follow me on Instagram. I'll see you later. Have a nice day.